what rare earth deal does Trump really want with Ukraine? I don't have much ideas about that. I think he wants minerals, and then Zelensky said no, and Trump was like, well, go f*** yourself, now I'm going full pro-Putin.
Brought to you by Ground News. Over the last few days, US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have had a pretty public falling out, with Trump calling Zelensky a dictator and Zelensky accusing Trump of...
Yeah, but Jon Stewart is the populist, man. Mashallah, Habibi, Alter.
...in a Russian disinformation space.
Hello.
Until recently, it was widely assumed that
Thank
this
you,
was
DJ.
a consequence of the meeting between American...
He wants
and
minerals
Russian
with no
officials
security guarantees.
in Saudi Arabia.
You have to always remember, though, Trump, you gotta be careful. Trump wants to reach a deal with you here. He wants to reach this point with you. And Trump's technique, which you can read, for example, in the Art of the Deal, is to first go here, go too far. Zelensky, I want all the minerals or I'm becoming Putin's best friend. And you gotta think, right, that Trump doesn't really think that way. It's just his tactic. And then it's like, well, Zelensky, give me 50% and we have a deal, man. That's his modus operandi.
This week. But while that meeting
And it works
obviously
sometimes.
didn't help, in the last few days, there has been some suggestion that quite a lot of Trump and Zelensky's falling
KCD
out
trading
has
system.
actually been about a perspective.
Zelensky's actually dictator without elections. That's a ban. That's too much. I'm trying to keep free speech here. I'm really trying. But this is insanity. We talk about it all the time. And that you still talk like this is insanity. This country is in a war. Every Western country, including the US, has a law that if they're being invaded, there is no elections. The opposition itself was for that, man. This is insanity to talk like this. Insanity. You're literally a victim of Russian fucking TikTok propaganda. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you, man. That is fucked up, dude. You're a young man, man. That should be the future of Europe or North America. And you talk like this. You just fucking listen to this rhetoric and it goes into your brain and you believe it, man. This is sad, bro. Fuck, I'm not even mad at you. It's just fucking sad, buddy. Fuck, dude.
Mineral deal that would see the US...
Jesus
get
almighty
preferential
Christ.
access to Ukraine's
Let me get a
mineral
painkiller.
reserves.
My throat is too much choked. 1 sec. Fuck, dude. Fuck, man. That's fucked up. Ah, my fucking Adam's apple is like destroyed.
On Thursday, Axios claimed that the US and Ukraine fell out after Zelensky refused to sign the original deal. And a few hours later, Mike Waltz, America's national security advisor, publicly urged Volodymyr Zelensky to take, quote, a hard look at a proposed deal.
What was that deal,
So
though? I
in
have
this
no
video,
idea.
we're going to look
They want minerals and they get... What exactly do they get?
at this proposed mineral deal, why it's proved so controversial, and what might happen next.
$500 billion in minerals. But what was the exchange? I have no idea.
Could you rank every single politician in the world? Here are thoughts.
Discord Piscott, dude, fucking stop. Even if you're right, man, they're in fucking war, man. The opposition is for it. I think even their approval ratings are for him. What is wrong with you? You waste your time arguing if Zelensky is a dictator while getting invaded by Vladimir Putin? That's what we talk? What are you doing, man? This is insanity. Insanity, bro. Fucking hell. What are you doing, man? What is wrong with you? Is this too much internet or some shit? Fucking hell.
Thoughts and argue with us on our podcast, The World Leader Leaderboard. Find it over on the TLDR Podcast YouTube channel or in your favourite podcast app. First though, what mineral resources does Ukraine actually have? Well, according to Ukraine's own geological...
I read an article, they have like shit down here, which is kind of the main reason Russia's actually
survey,
invading.
Ukraine has large underground deposits of certain in-demand metals, including titanium, graphite,
Now you know why there is a war. Now you fucking know,
lithium,
dude.
and uranium, as well as a handful of rare earth reserves, with all these
Ukrainian shield. What does that mean?
deposits generally occurring along the so-called Ukrainian Shield, a strip of land that runs along the right bank of the Dnipro River. However, these deposits have not undergone any significant exploration or development. For instance, Ukrainian officials claim some of the world's largest deposits of titanium, used for missiles, planes and ships, but only 10% of its proven reserves.
Oh, now you know why they're actually invading. Thank you, Valerium. Was ist los, mein Hübscher? Hallo, mein Bester. Na, irgendwelche Filme am Start? Was ist los? Increase the volume. Do it at your own fucking mind. Oh, that's a 10-minute ban. Now you made me mad. Put up the volume. Put this fucking dick in your fucking ear socket, you fuck. Here's what you do in real life. Look, you take this and you... Wow, the volume is higher now, you dumb cunt. Shut up, fucking idiot. You can talk all the shit you want about Zelensky, I'm not banning you, but making the volume higher, you're fucking out.
So, why haven't these reserves been developed? Well, it's at least in part because during the Soviet and much of the post-Soviet era, Ukraine didn't receive enough investment. Then in the 2010s, when Ukraine began drawing up plans for it, offering outside investors tax breaks and investment rights, including a major oil and gas privatization
Vanish.
Thank you, Circle. This is very interesting, man.
But in 2013, these efforts were interrupted by Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014. Then in 2017,
Makes you wonder if all these minerals weren't there, if there would even be a war.
Ukraine launched a new energy strategy.
Kudam 77. I'm a policeman. Kudam 77. Warte. Drehstart der 4. Staffel. Muss mir mal schicken, wenn es vorbei ist. There's this guy in chat who's an actor in real life, and he's going to be in a German TV show. But I think he doesn't say much. He just, like, hunts... I mean, he's playing a policeman, so he's probably just gonna harass Arabs.
To accelerate the licensing of mineral extractions. But Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022 again got in the way. Anyway, Ukraine's unexplored...
And this is a great argument. People in chat have been saying, why will Ukraine join EU? What happens is when you join the EU, I had this in law school, joining the EU is a long process. In the beginning, in the first years, you get tested, right, if you have the right values, but you also receive massive funding. You're getting built up, you're getting invested in, right? And you're really growing through massive investments. And this could help, dude, having these minerals, man, stuff like that. Working with them, contracting them, investing in them.
Attention. And Ukraine and the US.
Look what's happened. Putin wants it, Trump wants it. But if we say maybe the EU should get it, oh no, we can't do that. Fuck that. This streamer right here is very pro-EU. I'm like, dude, I have a fucking EU flag here, man. I want to be the Trump of EU. So yes, I want these minerals. Yes.
Now negotiating some sort of deal that would give American companies privileged access to these deposits. The New York Times actually reported that Ukraine actually refused...
You don't want Ukraine? Arvidor, where are you from? Arvidor, you're probably from a country that massively benefited from EU upbuilding. Where are you from, Arvidor? Tell us right now. Probably Serbian or some shit, or Hungarian.
...deal with Biden, so they could use it as leverage over Trump.
Belgium? Dude, you live in the biggest shithole of Europe. You're lucky. You're lucky you have the EU. Belgium, buddy. Jesus, man. The worst country in all the EU. And you talk shit about Ukraine? Thank you, Père Ponche.
Originally, it looked like...
Jesus, buddy. You're like the Serbia of Western Germany.
Of Western to imply that he'd be happy to continue supporting Ukraine in exchange for access to its mineral wealth. Saying, quote...
The question really is, if you're Zelensky and he says, I want 500 billion minerals, what did Trump offer? I don't want to understand that.
Going to secure what we're giving them with their rare earths and other things. And that he expected $500 billion worth of rare earth minerals. Trump's enthusiasm for rare earth specifically
100 M1 grants
related to his anxieties about...
Today was a shooting in Germany again. I mean, that's pretty normal now. Let me check my news. A shooting in Germany, but it's very normal nowadays. It was about... There was a court case against a boxer. And the mafia was attacking his family. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
China. Rare earth.
Wir schaffen das. Dude, it's more like some Balkan mafia shit. It's nothing with Arabs right now.
Are used in a whole load of advanced technologies. But China currently accounts for about 60% of all rare earth mining and about 90% of rare earth processing.
Digga, man. That's something you should look at, man.
However, it seems like the deal collapsed on Wednesday last week, when Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent visited Kyiv.
Once again, the fucking Bolton Zelensky is like, no, it's not good. Fuck you.
To sign it off. Apparently because Zelensky decided it was too one-sided to get through the Ukrainian parliament, and was disappointed that it wasn't...
Oh, wait, the dictator has to get things through parliament? The dictator? Damn, bro, what?
...accompanied by any US security guarantees. This would be consistent with a slightly astonishing report from The Telegraph earlier this week, who published parts of the original draft agreement. According to that draft agreement, the US would get 50% of recurring revenues received by Ukraine.
The US will take 50% of recurring revenues received by Ukraine from extraction of resources and 50% of the financial value of all new licenses issued. There will be a lien on such revenues, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but what does Ukraine get?
From extraction of resources, and 50% of the financial value of all new licenses issued to third parties.
Zelensky is Trump's bitch now. The guy even said no. Why are you talking like this, man? Oh. You can't have a civil conversation with Twitch chat, man. Maybe, I don't know if I want to do it, because I love you guys. There's one thing, none of you can fucking shit on me. I fucking give a shit about you. I never go sub mode, man. I'm always fucking trying, right? But you make me want to go sub mode, man. These fucking people with 10 messages, but Zelensky is actually a reptile lizard man.
Parties until it had received $500 billion, way more than the $175 billion the US has so far spent on Ukraine. But this agreement wouldn't just cover metal reserves, it also covered oil and gas, ports, and, quote, other infrastructure as
the fuck, they're buying the country?
The US would also get to decide who got those licenses and the terms of any future projects, with the draft also stating that, quote, the agreement shall be governed by New York law, without regard to conflict of laws principles.
One thing I learned in law school is you gotta be super careful if you ever do a contract that says this contract applies to my law. I think when me and Marconi made a contract, it was like, we made a contract, and in the end, I put in, I'm not trying to fuck Marconi over, Marconi's very rich, he's doing great. It will say in the end, this contract, one sec, it will say, this contract is in regards of German law, and that's how you get fucked. Because imagine, it will never happen, me and Marconi have a legal dispute. It's German law. Have fun finding a German lawyer and stuff. You have to be very careful with stuff like that. Like in regards of Marconi is fine, he's doing great. One sec. Broken Arrow is a large-scale modern warfare tactics game and will be released in the middle of June. You can try it out and showcase it to your audience with a special press demo, unreleased to the public.
And that the government of Ukraine waives sovereign immunity.
Damn, I can play Broken Arrow. Fuck. Let's do that tomorrow. Damn, fuck, that's pretty big. I love Broken Arrow. Fucking great game.
To its liability.
Damn.
In short, the US basically gets to control all of Ukraine's extractable mineral wealth and any infrastructure until the country has
But
paid
again,
back
Trump isn't stupid. He's highballing it. He knows it's too much.
roughly 3 times what the US has spent
I think Zelensky now agreed to a different deal, which I have to check in a second.
in aid, which is why the Telegraph describes it as, quote, the economic colonization of Ukraine in legal perpetuity.
Sanity.
Perhaps more importantly, though, it's not clear Ukraine would
Can anyone
ever
find me a
be
video
able to
about the New
pay
Deal
off
that Zelensky said yes to?
$500 billion, for the simple reason that, while Ukraine has clearly done a great job in advertising its mineral wealth to Trump, there's a fair bit of uncertainty about how much mineral wealth Ukraine
There's a brand new video 30 minutes ago about it. Okay, we will watch that afterwards. One sec. Where is it? European Army is interesting. Where's that? Can you send it to me?
This video is has. You hear massive numbers being bandied around at the moment. Trump claimed Ukraine had $500 billion in rare earths alone. The New York Times put Ukraine's total mineral wealth at 11.
I don't understand certain things. That's where I'm a bit uneducated. But if Ukraine is in need of money to fund their defense, why not sell that like a long time ago? Like 50 billion to Germany, 50 billion to China, 100 billion to USA. Why wasn't this sold earlier? Thanks for the video.
Kyiv.
Thank you.
$0.5 trillion, while the Washington Post put it at an astonishing $26 trillion.
What?
But to be totally honest, none of these numbers seem remotely plausible. While it's true that Ukraine has pretty substantial lithium and titanium reserves, neither of these metals are really that expensive. The price of lithium has fallen by more than 80% in the past 2
I remember when you guys were lithium is the future. Okay.
years, for instance.
Invest, Tommy.
Not even clear Ukraine is that well endowed when it comes to rare earths.
Investors are scared they can't hold the territory. It makes sense. Like, imagine you build a mine in Ukraine. You don't know if it's actually gonna just get nuked by a rocket. Yeah, that makes sense.
While the Ukrainian Geological Survey claims some rare earth deposits in Ukraine, the US...
Man, the EU should have gotten we should have gotten Ukraine into NATO and EU a long time ago. We would have access to all of this now.
Survey
in
doesn't
Europe.
list Ukraine as having any reserves of the 15 key...
What is that? Where are the minerals? Vietnam, Brazil. Sorry, what is that? Sorry.
US Geological Survey doesn't list Ukraine as having any reserves of the 15 key rare earth elements.
This is rare earth. Oh, Greenland. Now you know why he wants Greenland. Dude, everything, if you really look behind the scenes, it's all about resources, man. Trump doesn't give two shits about Greenland. It's the rare earths and the stuff over there. I will even argue, does Putin really want to invade Ukraine if there's no fucking resources there, man? Brazil, man. Vietnam. Ultra OP.
In fact, the former director of the Ukraine Geological Survey said recently that there has been no modern assessment of rare earth reserves in Ukraine. And
how do you assess that even? That must be hard.
Studies. This speaks to a more...
Now you know why I wanted Vietnam.
Contrary to what the name suggests, they're not actually that rare geologically. The issue is mainly that their extraction is severely polluting, and their value is massively overhyped. According to Bloomberg's Javier Blas, the value of all the world's rare earth production at best rounds to $15 billion a year, a fraction of the value.
2.7 trillion in oil. Mashallah, Alter. I'm telling you, I believe in this. That's why I'm a conspiracy theorist. I believe the human race already invented a cleaner solution to engines, but every time you do that, they fucking get killed. Imagine, just for 1 second, you have... at MIT, Michigan, whatever the fuck, you have a young man who's like, "Hi, my name is Abdul Kalabumbi from Delhi, and I found a solution for a clean engine." Bam! Oh, he's fucking gone! 2.7 trillion? You think that industry is gonna let them do that? They will fucking clip your ass, buddy. They will clip your ass. Be honest. How am I wrong here? Imagine you have an alternative to oil, man. They're gonna fuck you, buddy. You are done, my friend.
Value of annual global oil.
Let's be fucking real. Did you sit in an airplane? Hi, my name's Tom. I'm next to you for 10 hours. What's your name? Daniel. So what are you doing? And what are you doing? Oh, you're presenting your solution for clean engines at a conference. Whoa! What is wrong with this airplane? Lisa, I'm not coming home. I love you.
To reach the $500 billion mooted by Trump, the US would need to secure 150 plus years of Ukrainian outputs. So if Ukraine doesn't really have trillions of dollars of mineral wealth, what's Zelensky doing talking it up? Well, some Ukrainian officials have come out to say that Zelensky talked up Ukraine's mineral riches to curry favor with Trump, but also in an attempt to draw American companies and capital into Ukraine, which would give Trump an incentive to take Ukraine's security more seriously. Whether this strategy works or ends up with Ukraine turning into an American economic colony remains uncertain. Either way, this all demonstrates a transactional attitude.
Hella interesting. And then the follow-up to this is... Sorry, you just sent it to me. Oh, here. And now they talk about the deal.
And Washington have reportedly agreed to the terms of a draft minerals and resources deal. The agreement could be signed as early as Friday, with plans for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to travel to the United States to meet with Donald Trump.
Zelensky might have the most fly miles in the world right now,
U.S.
bro.
president has been demanding Ukraine give
And EU is just sleeping. EU is just sleeping, buddy. Buddy, if TommyKay will lead Germany, man, I will get the EU together. We need to help Ukraine. We gotta get the fuck in there. We have to give them security guarantees, and we should get them in so we can share these resources among the EU, man. What the fuck are we sleeping on, buddy?
access to its rare earth minerals in what Trump calls payback for wartime aid provided by the
Payback, Alter. That is so crazy, dude. That is fucked up.
U.S. under Joe
like
Biden.
$1 billion. That I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly, it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me. And I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. And I think the American people, even if you look at polling, they're very happy because Biden was throwing money around like it's cotton candy, and
Schwarzenegger isn't true. If you spend $800 billion a year on your military, you can help Ukraine a bit. And let's not forget, a lot of the value USA sent to Ukraine was in material. It wasn't like taxpayer money. It was equipment that even is getting tested over there, which really helps the military of the US.
It's a very big deal. Look, it could be $1 trillion deal. It could be whatever.
So before the pens are drawn and the deal is done, let's take a look at exactly what we know about these mineral resources that suddenly seem so central to the future of Ukraine.
Fighting near a Ukrainian village on the front lines last year. Tank battles raged above ground. The geologists
Take a look at that shit. It looks like the Call of Duty map, bro. Look at this shit. Fucking hell. Have fun rebuilding that shit.
estimate holds hundreds
Probably even can't rebuild this, man. There's so much shit in the ground now.
of millions of dollars
Fucking
of
hell.
lithium. That's just one of the resources that Ukraine has significant deposits of. There are also deposits of graphite, titanium, zirconium, and rare earth metals spread
I
across
wonder how they figure that shit out. I read something about this. There's like these scientists and they do these... I think they do random drills. And then they have like this crazy program that figures shit out and stuff.
Ukraine. Some in the areas controlled
It's not just drilling. They drill and then there's like a program that does something and figures out where everything is and shit.
by Russia, but much in the territory Ukraine itself still controls.
You lick the
Potentially
rocks?
worth more than $10 trillion, making Ukraine potentially a very rich country.
Sure. That's not happening
The
anymore
White
right
House sent the Treasury Secretary to Ukraine to sign a deal. An alleged leaked draft said the U.S. would get half the money Ukraine earns from mining, as well as oil and gas resources,
Half,
ports,
Alter.
and other
Buddy, for that though, you probably sent the US Marine Corps to fucking Donbass, bro. What the fuck?
infrastructure. The Trump deal has been compared to the Treaty of Versailles imposed on Germany after it lost World War I, which forced Germany to pay what would now be hundreds of billions of dollars in reparations. The amount Ukraine would end up paying is far greater in adjusted terms, despite the fact that Russia is the aggressor in the current war. The Trump team sees minerals as compensation for past and possible future aid. Ukraine sees its mineral wealth as its
The question I haven't answered yet, hopefully in a second, is what is Zelensky getting for this? Zelensky isn't that stupid. If he sells 50% of that shit, he must get something
path
for it.
forward to rebuilding after the war eventually ends. Ukraine can't afford to alienate the US and lose its back.
Also, Zelensky would hope that the next US government will cancel that, but probably not. Or you should make a time limit on it, like for 5 or 10 years.
Backing, but fears that without security guarantees against further Russian aggression, it might get nothing in return.
But what
for
does that
signing
mean,
away
security
its
guarantee?
wealth.
Like, in detail?
Let's bring in DW correspondent Nick Connolly from Kyiv.
I wanna hear
Nick,
a
what more do
number.
we know about what the parties have reportedly agreed to at this point?
Nicole, it is very
Yeah, and
difficult.
EU is just
There
doing
are
nothing,
lots
just looking
of
at all of
competing
it.
reports, most of them based on briefings, unnamed officials, very few kind of officials coming out with their names and talking
don't know
about
the name of the
detail.
officials.
So I think we have to kind of foreground those doubts. But seemingly it has been possible for the Ukrainians to firstly get rid of that $500 billion figure that was kind of floating around. That was what Trump
Okay, they
and
got
his
rid of
team
that.
saying that Ukraine owed the United States. Obviously, Ukraine has always stressed that it received only about
The EU
ballpark
sends
100
a lot of
billion
thoughts and
in
prayers.
US aid since the beginning of this war, so that was obviously a huge difference there. It also seems that they've basically kicked the kind of
The EU sent even more money than America, but now America gets all the rare earths. I want to be a fan of the EU. I want to be, but it's hard. It's like watching an old football player who can barely fucking sprint anymore. I want to like him. I want to see Arjen Robben in Champions League, right? But
details of how America is going to get money from this down the line, and say that's going to be kind of something to be agreed in future
there is EU offers, but doesn't look like it's happening, I
through
guess.
future agreements. And basically, all we've kind of heard so far is that 50% of the revenues from new projects in oil, gas, rare earth metals, critical minerals will be put into a fund. And what the Americans get out of those 50%, we don't know yet. I think at this point, it's a face-saving, obviously, effort. The Ukrainians don't want to risk another kind of falling out with the Americans like we had last week when Donald Trump called Zelensky.
And that's where you gotta give Donald Trump a bit of kudos, even though I think what he's doing is stabilizing democracy in the West. He first is shitting on Zelensky, dictator, and like, hey, let me call Vladimir, as a deal maker to actually make Ukraine sign this shit. Very clever, gotta be honest, very clever. But putting the entire Western security and literally cuddling up with Vladimir Putin for that is kind of fucked up, man, and it's kind of blackmail. That's. I don't know if the leader of a democratic beacon should act like that. That's
a dictator.
Fucked up, man.
But equally, they are very clear. We had Zelensky saying recently he doesn't want to sign a deal that will take 10 generations for Ukraine to pay back.
Is there a sense that Ukraine got what it wanted?
What is Ukraine getting? I don't... Just continued support? But what support? I don't understand.
I think it's a bit early to say that. I think until this is signed, until we see the text, I would be a little careful about saying that.
Elon Musk even wanted to block Starlink in Ukraine as part of the blackmailing.
There has been so much turbulence about this. We've heard so many extraordinary stories of Zelensky supposedly shouting at the US Treasury Secretary who arrived in Kiev 2 weeks ago, expecting him to sign on the dotted line immediately without any option for Ukraine to negotiate. But certainly we have seen that Ukraine has stood its ground and has called out Donald Trump, said,
Stood his ground against Trump. Man, Zelensky is really such a bad guy. I hate Zelensky. What a fascist dictator. Fucking hate this guy. Terrible leader. You want to hear the fucking truth of life, my European friends? You want to hear the truth? If any of our leaders, from the UK to Germany to France, were just half as Zelensky, we wouldn't be in this fucking hassle right now. There we go. It's out there. Type with your little non-sub hands. Fucking go ahead, buddy.
Zelensky saying that Trump is surrounded by Russian disinformation hasn't basically withered under the pressure.
More coffee.
So there is a sense that while Ukraine wants to obviously maintain its links to Washington, it is not rolling over immediately every time there's a kind of tweet or
look, they're looking at the minerals. Look at that. That's so interesting.
A Truth Social post from the White House.
Zelensky and Trump have traded sharp rhetoric in the past. You mentioned it before. Trump called Zelensky a dictator. Do you expect that to change after their reported meeting on Friday?
Your dear leader killed his whole youth. They're genuinely not doing the law that will put younger people on the front lines. He's actually not doing that. You maniac fake news retard, man. Genuinely not passing the law of lower drafting, man. You insane maniac, bro.
So that
fake
obviously
news
has been a kind of big topic here in Ukraine, the idea that Zelensky has to meet Trump before Putin does, and that hopefully that personal connection and that personal meeting will allow him to get past some of the kind of negativity of
Calm down. No, we shouldn't be calm anymore. Here's the point in fucking Europe. We can't be calm anymore. In the face of adversity and tyranny coming from fucking Washington and Moscow, we gotta find our balls. And you think some random fucking in the chat just spreading his fake news rhetoric is you should stay calm? No, rage. Rage against the dying of the light. And look at my balls, man. We gotta fucking wake up. We can't afford being that stupid anymore. The world is fucking harsh out there, okay? We're getting fucked in the ass by the Trumps and Putins. And you fucking, the real issue in this whole thing is Zelensky. You fucking losers, man. That's the problem. We became cuckolds in Europe, man. You always sitting there watching your hentai, Junge. What the fuck will you do if your country gets attacked like that? You'd be crying about your mother, man. You'd be crying in her lap, man. I have no maiden, man. I'm maidenless. You fucking bitches. Get the 20 push-ups done. Go jogging and prepare, man. Because we're building a European army. And we're going to take these bitches down. And then we make me the boss. Okay? And then, when it's all done and I'm the fucking king of Europe, I'm going to Sweden. I'm going to Paradox. I'm like, hello, Paradox. You have to give me clean multiplayer Hoi 4 servers. I'm going to nuke you, okay? And then we have fucking Hoi 4 servers. Every game is stable, buddy. Holy shit. And you're like, fuck, I didn't believe in them in the first place, man. Oh my god. Fucking bitches.
Weeks. We simply don't know. Obviously, this agreement doesn't include clear security guarantees that the Ukrainians wanted. We've heard the Ukrainians saying that the Americans are saying this is all part of a bigger picture, and also the Americans seem convinced that if there is big American investment in Ukrainian resources, that suddenly, somehow, the Russians will not invest.
When you go to the front line, to quote my great friend Bokun 1, if we would have the balls to fucking help Ukraine, none of us has to go to any front lines. That's what people need to fucking wake up to.
Again, the Ukrainians aren't convinced by that. They say there was big American investment in Ukraine, maybe not on this current scale, but before 2014, that didn't stop.
It's the leftists that are fucking the world up. You are the authoritarians. I have to do it. I'm sorry. At some point, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? He needs to go. Holy shit. Who shit in your brain when you were a kid, man? Dude got fucking dropped like 3 times. Whoa! What the fuck? What the hell?
The Russians coming down.
Jesus Christ,
so
buddy.
I think this is all part of a bigger negotiation, and I think there's a sense here that
shit,
just
man.
sign something that doesn't
I want
have
to play
too many
Hoi 4. This
commitments
is too much
and
for
hope
me.
that changes the tone.
That's DW correspondent Nick Connolly reporting from Kyiv. Thank you so much. For more, I'm joined now by
I still don't understand. What is Ukraine getting? I don't understand it.
foreign policy expert Tyson Barker, who worked on Ukraine under the Biden administration. Welcome back to DW, Tyson. Now, President Trump wanted payback. Now it looks like he might get it. Is this more a business venture now for him than an alliance?
Well played from
against
Trump's
a violent
perspective, gotta be
aggressor?
honest. He played that well. Very well played.
Well, it's consistent with his approach to foreign policy.
It's like a roleplay game where it's like, hey, give me resource rights or I'm fucking you in the ass. And they're like, fuck you, TommyKay. And I'm like, buddy, I have 100 civs more than you. And they're like, okay. Okay, here's the 22 tungsten.
Generally, even before his first
I kind of want to play USA in a roleplay game and actually roleplay Trump. Dude, that will be a sub goal, man. You guys know I have a great Trump. Donald Trump as the USA man, that could be good. And I'm actually trying to get like deals and stuff and try to fuck everyone over. Like democratic, but still. Trump roleplay. Yeah, okay, new sub goal. Here we go. I'm trying sub goals. I'm desperate. I'm trying to fucking survive. That could be a good stream. I'm trying to get like everybody's rare earths and shit. Could be actually fun. Tariff
in
everyone and shit.
He said that
Ukraine hopes to attract U.S. business by giving away its resources, and this will bring it into the U.S. sphere of influence. Regarding raw materials, the country's considerable lithium deposits are still largely untapped. Similarly, rare earth deposits are known to exist, but none have yet been mined due to lack of investment.
Wouldn't that mean it's clever from Ukraine to be like, hey, America, if you want this shit, you develop the infrastructure for it? Couldn't that be a clever move for Ukraine?
what happened
Thanks for the sub, man.
Iraq was the Americans didn't quote unquote get the oil, and that they needed to get the oil.
There you go. 4K subs, Trump roleplay. I would actually feel the shit out of that. I would actually like try to be Trumpish, you know, not being an asshole and still stay democratic, but like, if you want help, we need this tungsten. That could be a cool challenge. As Trump roleplay, as USA, try to gather the most resources. That's a fucking great idea. Thank you so much, Ari. Thank you, buddy, man. Really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for the 5. Thank you. You're getting TommyKay rare earth. Here. Look at that. There's so much dirt here. I got a lot of rare earth. Thank you very much, man.
So he has been interested in a kind of extractive deal for any American engagement abroad, and this seems to follow that pattern. He's just being able to.
Thank you, Forza. Now you're subbing, huh? You guys love Trump. Thank you, Bobby and Forza, for 10 gifted. Look at this, the Trump train is going. We're making already more subscribers than TommyKay will ever do on a Kingdom Come Deliverance stream. Frankly, TommyKay, your Kingdom Come streams are, frankly, boring. You see, if you use my name, you already make more subs than you ever did before. It's pathetic.
Express it a little less encumbered.
Ukraine has reportedly accepted.
Hey, Discord Pixel could roleplay Elon Musk. True. Yeah. Dude, that could be great content. Let me make the sub goal is way too high. It's way too high. One sec. I actually have like a good idea for once on this dumbass dying stream. Let me make it more approachable. That's actually a great idea. Let's do 3.8. That's much more safe. Dude, Discord Pixel could be Elon. And he could travel the world. That could be... And Pokémon could be JD Bands. That could be a very good game, man. That could be funny as fuck. Thank you for the subs, guys. Thank you so much.
A deal
Thank
that,
you,
from what we're hearing, does not include security guarantees. Is this just an attempt to keep Trump on their side? What's in it for them?
Yeah, here we go. That's what I want to know.
Well, I've seen a draft version of the deal that...
How? Who are you? How do you know that? How does he have a draft version? Just a journalist and he gets it?
came out on the 24th. And it actually has...
You could cosplay Trump? I don't know if we want to go that far. One sec. Amazon? Shit, man. Trump wig. Oh, there's a lot of Trump wigs. Thank you, Matthew Dubs, man. Yeah, now you sub. Okay, there... I hereby promise, officially, that if that stream happens, I will wear a wig. I see one right now for $10. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. I will do it. Thank you for the 5, man. I will totally order that. That looks amazing. Get orange face paint? Calm down. Calm down a bit, okay?
Has terms that are much more flexible
Listen.
to the benefit of the Ukrainians than some previous iterations of this. It does not include the 500 billion mark that was included in an earlier draft. And it includes the necessity of any joint ventures that the United States and Ukraine set up to also benefit Ukraine's
This is pretty bad for Putin, isn't it?
So that's all quite positive. The issue of what its relation is to previous or future assistance is unclear. In fact,
it's
not
unclear.
mentioned explicitly in the deal. So that still needs to be hammered out, because the previous assistance allocated by the United States Congress was primarily in the form of grants and obligated by the Biden administration. There's no going back to try to collect on that. That is money that has been invested in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Looking at it realistically, though, can Kyiv even afford to say no to anything put on the table right now and potentially risk whatever is left of American support and willingness to provide that support in the future?
I like to always think, and you can disagree with me here, which is totally fine, right? And I always like to see at what's going on in the world through history books. Imagine a history book in 100 years. That's how we see the past. We look at history books. And I know the history books are written by the winner, but often they also have facts in them. And I think this will go down as a great backstep, as a very anti-democratic backstep of Trump's America against Ukraine under attack. This is like the fucking backstep in World War I when the Marines rose up against the Kaiser. This is fucking... It's a backstep, man.
Well,
history is written by historians. Thank you, Dave.
U.S. support, particularly in the form of security assistance, has been determinative in Ukraine's ability to survive for these past 3 years. And I think everybody recognizes that. But this is where President Zelensky's particular style of leadership comes into play. I mean, the man has a spine of steel.
He's just a dictator. He's a puppet. He's terrible.
One of the reasons Ukraine was able to survive during those early weeks of the war in 2022. And he was, in fact, willing to walk away, given the onerous terms of previous drafts of this agreement, which is what led the United
Japan, we want 50% of your big titty Japanese girls. We gotta get the shipments.
States to make some concessions in what seems to be emerging as the final draft. So although it is very difficult for Ukraine to do so, it seems that Bankova, Kyiv, would have been willing to walk away if the terms were so onerous to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Trump cozying up with Putin is something that's extremely concerning to all of Ukraine's allies.
All of us.
Ukraine, you said it there, you know, they're willing to walk away, but they do need the U.S. on their side if they do want to persist in the fight against the aggressor. Now, Trump has expressed his respect for Putin in the past, so what we're seeing right now was something to be expected. You worked under the Biden administration. Could the previous administration have worked harder to bring this conflict to an end before Trump came into the White House and maybe secure a more just peace for Ukraine than what it might be forced to accept now?
Trump just posted this. This is new? No, wait. This is brand new? Oh no. Can I watch this on Twitch? Piscott? You can watch this. He made an AI video. What? So this is the real Donald Trump.
Donald's coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed for the first time in your entire life, look into my eyes, this is serious, that we indeed, without a single doubt, my dear friend, live in a simulation. The proof is finally there. It's done. No one can deny it anymore. All world religions are done, in the ground and buried. We live in a simulation, and no one can deny it anymore. It's nice to finally have peace about that.
Well, the previous administration...
Is it weird that you watch that and it's not crazy anymore? You watch that and you're like, okay, man. What the fuck, bro? It's insanity. Dude, we should all move to New Zealand and build our own little community, man. Just like farming and, fucking.
Had two primary objectives. One...
I'm so exhausted. How long are Hassan streams? How long is that? Dude, this shit is exhausting. This is fucking making me melt. This shit is too much. He streams 10 hours? Dude, the guy must be cooked in his head. He must really be on the spectrum. That's not okay. This is not healthy. This is not good.
Was
no one should go through
Ukraine, this. To include Ukraine in any kind of negotiations, nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. And it devoted, along with the American public, it must
half the time he's just his chair.
be said, around
He takes 30-minute pauses. Weak streamer. I'm the better Hassan. There you go.
70% approval for support for Ukraine and 70% of Congress until very recently when Trump's rhetoric and frankly...
Did you see Hassan TwitchCon Paris? Me and Makodi were chilling, and all of a sudden everybody was turning around and Hassan walked by with massive security. Right? And I was like, cringe. Can't he defend himself? Weak shit. And he looked at me. Hassan walked by and he's like, that's the Hoi 4 guy. That's him. My true enemy at the political sphere of Twitch. He was scared. I could see it. He was very small guy.
Information in some cases has had
He had like 10 fucking bodyguards, man. Jesus, I had Marconi. That was all I needed.
Effect on the perception of this support.
He couldn't believe he saw the real TommyKay. Hassan knows who I am. He made these remarks. He said, he made these Hoi 4 remarks and shit like that.
So it was, first of all, support Ukraine, and second of all, it was to make sure that this war didn't escalate. And we know from information provided that there was the potential for nuclear.
Yeah, he said something like, I'm a beacon of the trans community. Yeah. Could an army of Europe happen? Oh, probably not. Oh, let's watch that first.
Brought to you by Ground News. The EU has had a bumpy weekend. Vice President J.D. Vance used his speech at the Munich Security Conference to attack what he called Europe's threat from within. Trump announced that Saudi Arabia would be hosting bilateral negotiations between the US and Russia without Ukraine.
It's a bit older, but we care about the topic of the EU army.
Link in the description. So let's start with some context. Because the idea of a European army, or something to that effect, has a long history. It was first seriously considered in 1952, when the US pushed for West Germany to
How is there such slow progress on this idea, if it's for 50 years around? Thank you, Quebec.
So keen on this, and so instead proposed creating a new European defence community via the Treaty of Paris, which would have combined the armies of all the members of the European coal and steel community, France, West Germany, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands and Luxembourg, under one supranational command, with the intention of forming a political union in the future. The French Parliament, however, didn't like the idea of giving up national control of their army, refused to ratify the treaty in August 1954.
But it's a different world now. In the 21st century, with Putin's attack, obviously it's a very different
West Germany ended up joining NATO.
point now when you discuss this stuff.
France tried to resurrect the idea again in the 1960s, when French President Charles de Gaulle, who really didn't like NATO or the US, tried to transform the European Economic Community into a security alliance of sorts. But he didn't get anywhere because the other members of the EEC decided they were happy with NATO. This has always been the main obstacle to an independent European security policy. And it's probably...
All these videos make me want to play Wano. Do you guys remember Wano?
The main reason that French President Emmanuel Macron...
Actually, we have 3 hours until Hoi 4. And I just got access to a single-player mission in Broken Arrow. Maybe after this we say fuck that. I might want to watch this, but we might play Broken Arrow, my friends.
Europe to take security and, quote, strategic autonomy more seriously have largely failed. Why would you create a new European security architecture when you already have NATO, which covers most of Europe and includes the world's biggest military in the US? Nonetheless, pretty
Europe army will suck with language issues. You know, there's some people that you call educated that speak English. Like, dude, what kind of argument is that? Sorry, we can't speak English. We can't make an army. Sorry. Like, dude,
independent
come on.
EU security policy around the turn of...
Oh, I can't stream it yet. You have to wait till 6 p.m. UK time. Oh, I can't play yet. You can play this. You can showcase this demo tonight at 18 UK time. I cannot play Broken Arrow yet, guys.
Of the millennium, when French President Jacques Chirac and British Prime Minister Tony Blair signed the St. Malo Declaration in the aftermath of the Yugoslav wars, which laid the groundwork for the development of the Common Security and Defence Policy, or CSDP. This was followed by a series of agreements setting out a framework for defence cooperation, which included allowing the EU to use NATO assets. The EU then embarked on its first peacekeeping mission in North Macedonia in 2003, and soon deployed European troops in multiple peacekeeping and civilian missions around the world under the CSDP. Although it's worth stressing that the CSDP is just a framework. In other words, it doesn't legally bind EU militaries to do anything, just provides a forum for them to discuss cooperation. But progress towards a European army halted, and then regressed in the mid-2000s for two reasons. First, in 2004, 10 new countries joined the EU.
It's not even that long ago, if you think about it. Not even that long ago.
Which were formally part of the Eastern Bloc, and 3 of which were ex-Soviet countries. In part because these countries were mainly worried about Russia's neo-imperial ambitions, and were generally pretty friendly.
They were already afraid 20 years ago? What?
With the US, they overwhelmingly preferred NATO to the idea of an EU army. Second, the Iraq War in 2003 divided France and the UK, and laid bare some of the more fundamental strategic disagreements between the two. This meant that France had to rely on Germany instead of the UK to front any European security policy. But this never really worked, because, well, the German army just isn't strong enough, especially after Merkel's austerity-era cuts. There was then some chatter about it.
For a second, there was a thought running through my brain. It's just a thought, right? But that, like, Russia made Merkel an asset. Merkel was a Russian agent, yeah. You could think that if you look at what she did, right? It's like,
but nothing really came
very, very pro-Russia what she did.
Trump didn't end up being as NATO skeptic as some commentators worried, and because he was promptly succeeded by Biden. However, the idea has returned to the table in the past few days. After Trump
Isn't she East German? Oh, we might have something there, man. She was East German.
With Russia without Ukraine's input, and told the Europeans that they would be responsible for guaranteeing Ukraine's security after the war. This would probably require tens, if not hundreds.
Are you in Russian asset? Looking at my bank account, I'm unfortunately not.
European troops.
She even studied in Moscow. Am I seeing something here, buddy?
This is why, over the weekend, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky claimed that, quote, the time has come for an army of Europe to face Russia. While no other European leaders have used quite the same language, on Monday they met in Paris to discuss their response, and EU Council President Antonio Costa told the Financial Times the EU needs, quote, a new security architecture. So, could some sort of European army actually happen? Well, there are reasons to be skeptical.
But I have to understand this. I mean, let's start slowly. I know that bureaucracy in Europe is slow. Let's not make a united army, but let's just build our armies with the 2%, and let's have joint exercises. Let's really start with like an Erasmus program, exchanges, making exercises together, just fucking working together. Nobody is asking for a fucking united flag and stuff, but training this kind of stuff. They do it, yeah, but do it more. Do it more. Work on that stuff, right?
Most obviously, the creation of a European army, at least if it were to happen under the auspices of the EU.
I was at a big training in my army time with Frenchies and stuff like that, yeah, in South Germany.
Would require unanimity from European leaders, which feels
gotta create this culture of working
Poland's
together, drinking together, talking about tits together.
Poland would veto any moves towards an EU army, insisting that, quote, it will not happen.
Why?
And it's hard to see even more Eurosceptic leaders like Viktor Orban in Hungary agreeing to this sort of thing. It's also worth saying that the EU has a lot on its plate at the moment, with various outstanding disagreements.
Just put all divisions on the one field marshal.
And it's not clear it has the bureaucratic bandwidth to sort out another new treaty and create an entirely new army. Nonetheless, there are at least 3 reasons.
It is so fucking ironic that Hungary and Poland hate the EU, but mostly are the biggest benefits of the upbuilding programs.
To think the idea of some sort of European army is more likely than you might think. First, what looks like the death of NATO. As we mentioned earlier, NATO has always been the main obstacle to an independent European security policy. Europeans preferred to lean on America's massive military might. There was a sense that a new European security policy would just duplicate what Europe already has with NATO, and possibly even interfere with or undermine the alliance. However, NATO does look pretty defunct at the moment.
Poland's just hate Germans. Buddy, come to where I live, okay? I will show you 50 Poles. around my house. They're all here, working here, okay? The Poles love Germany. Be fucking honest. You all work here, and that's fine, and then you take the money you own and you bring it to Poland. Okay? Shut the fuck up, Polish people. Be fucking nice to the Germans. You're all using the free movement right of the EU to get the fuck over here. But we need you, though. We have no more workers. We need you people. Dude, I walk around the city, I only hear Polish on the fucking building sites.
Americans have been pivoting away from Europe towards China and the Indo-Pacific since at least the Obama administration. And NATO's apparent reinvigoration under Biden now looks like a fleeting interruption to this trend rather than a reversal. Second, it's a surprisingly popular idea. In April 2022, a couple of months after Putin's invasion, YouGov ran an
Hi Tommy, react to this video. The video is about Ukraine's raw materials.
Oh, buddy, thank you for the donation, but I just watched so many videos about these raw materials. I'm sorry. Thank you for the 10. I love you. But, buddy, you probably just tuned in. I was watching a shit ton of material videos, bro. So, yeah, fuck your donation. I love you, buddy. But I just watched all of them, dude.
International poll.
Thank you very much, buddy. Check the VOD. I just watched all of them.
Of a, quote, integrated European army. In every country apart from the UK, more respondents supported the idea than opposed it, and the percentage of Europeans supporting the idea had risen markedly compared to 2021. And third, it might be surprisingly cost-effective. European countries...
Look what happens in Hoi 4 lately, right? When I'm Uruguay and I'm fighting a faction, one guy has infantry, one guy has 2 heavy tanks, one guy does only airman. Ayla, you still alive? But now you doing, Ayla? What's up, girl? And everybody is specialized in Hoi 4, right? You gotta do that shit, man, right? Gotta specialize a bit.
Many of
How you doing, Ayla?
Struggling with unsustainable debt burdens are struggling to increase their defense budgets. Coordinate...
Opinion on German election? Buddy, watch the VODs. It's all out there. I'm reacting to everything. No one can talk shit right now. I have a new technique to fuck with my viewers. You have any questions? I'm like, let me refer you to yesterday's stream at 2 hours and 33. I talked about the German election. It's all there. Check out the VODs. Check out the VODs. How are you? Well, I'm balding with this retarded chat. That's what I'm doing, Ayla. These people are fucking me up. Ayla, what's your opinion on politics? You know what? It's better to never talk about it. The more I do these politics streams, the more I want to die.
And combining spending via some sorts of joint European effort would be more cost-effective, both because Europe would be buying in bulk and because this would force all European militaries to buy the same systems.
Scary stuff for real. The scary stuff is how chat reacts to it, Ayla.
Easily combined, allowing for the same firepower on a lower budget. This would become even more tempting if...
Yeah, dude, theoretically, the EU could be a monster, right? Theoretically. And once again, the biggest sentence I heard this year was in a political talk show in Germany. Europe has the resources, but not the political will. That was a quote that really was hauling in my brain, man. Very, very good quote.
The EU decided to fund this via further joint borrowing, which is something both EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas and Macron have suggested, and something we talked a fair bit about in a previous video. All in all, while a full-on European army does still feel unlikely in the near future, deeper cooperation between national militaries and on issues like procurement seems inevitable, and who knows where it'll ultimately lead, especially following the fallout of this
economy. The EU is the third biggest power next to China. It's dumb bullshit. It's you again, Gravelor. Fucking retarded takes from you, buddy.
Security conference. But actually,
this propaganda bullshit, the EU is dying, man. That Elon Musk put in your brain.
Like this
buddy, dude.
Difficult in the current landscape.
Whole fucking world wants to live here, bro.
We're increasingly being flooded by misleading content, algorithmic feeds that just back up our biases.
Okay, we're done here. Okay, brand new news from 2 hours ago. Something happened in Kursk. Let's take a look at that. Let's look at bombs and explosions, and let's fucking Michael Bay this shit, man. You guys still with me? Hello, we're playing Call of Duty in a second. Let's go, guys. Woo!
Region is a double-edged sword in the war between Ukraine and Russia. Both sides see control of Kursk as an important element in President Trump's peace talks. Russian troops are fighting with all their might to retake the entire Kursk region from the Ukrainian army. Ukrainian forces, on the other hand, are seeking to consolidate their hold on the region.
How the fuck did you reload? Wait. Since when is it on the right side? Doesn't it always on the left side? Wait, why would you reload like that?
Are seeking to
Isn't that a left-handed AK? An AK has the reload on the right side? What? That's so fucking dumb. An AK is on the right side? What the fuck? That's terrible.
Consolidate their hold on the region. In this context,
well, you want the bullets to eject on the right side. But yeah, dude, a lot of manufacturers can make you reload on the left, but the casing still goes out for the right, man. Damn, that's terrible. You can still engineer that they fall out of the right.
Ukraine aims to inflict
Fuck the
maximum
AK. I have a really weird question to all my bros. What weapon would you want to use in World War III? All assault rifles currently. Can you Google that? List of all assault rifles. I need pictures. Shit, man. What would you want to use in World War III? I actually have no idea, bro. I don't have the slightest clue. I wouldn't want to use the German one. Didn't Heckler and Koch make that new one? I remember, man. Heckler and Koch. They had that new one, which the German army is trying to get, but too dumb to do it. Products. Assault rifles. Isn't it the HK416? Yeah. I will trust that shit. I guess. Some nice modifications. The SSG 550. What the fuck is that, man? What is still getting... Oh, here's the oldest ones. Oh, yeah, this is new stuff. This is like new. Nay, it's not. I'd like to see a list of new weapons, but I don't know much about weapons, man. I don't know what's good. I always felt an M4 is really good. Wait, that's an SIG Sauer. That's not even the M4. Looks like an M4. I don't know shit about guns, man. Gotta ask the Americans in chat. I have no idea what I will use in World War III, dude. No clue. What I remember from the army is what's very important about guns is the cleaning. Are they after you shoot 100 rounds, are they still working well? That's really important. Tommy will get the Mosin Nagant.
Damage on the Russian army by focusing on ground and air operations.
P90 rush to the Kremlin,
which has been ongoing
Arcs
since August, is already
goated and underrated.
Arcs 160. I don't know shit about that. Arcs 160. I don't know shit about guns. That looks like a child gun. It's like a fat lady, dude. I don't know. I don't know shit about that stuff. No idea about guns. Here's all modern assault rifles. Is there like statistics what the best one is? Can you like determine that? I have no idea about this shit. I will have no idea. The G3 or file terrible. I have a scar from it right here. Very terrible gun. Very terrible. That's why we sold it to the Turks. The FAMAS, that looks good. M4. Is there like statistics what the best gun is? I have no idea. It's a weird question. Which one has the most DPS?
Already worn out.
Guess it also depends who's wielding it, right?
Russian troops. But Vladimir Putin, aware of the strategic and symbolic value of the region.
I only shot in my life, I shot the G3, which is a terrible weapon. I shot the G36, which was nice, but not up to date and modern. I shot the Walter P99, which was great. That's all I shot, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Shooting is fun, man. It's like in human DNA. Thank you, Bait Menace. Shooting is fun. It smells good. I like the smell. I like to always shoot in the army, and I love that shit, man.
Not giving up Kursk at the cost of losing more troops. If Russia can push Ukraine out, it will not have to make any concessions to get the territory back. Ukraine, on the other hand, is waging an all-out war to corner Putin, using missiles, drones, artillery, and rifles. Most recently, Ukrainian troops even struck the Russian headquarters in the Kursk region.
The AK-74 was terrible and shit and overhyped.
But how was this critical attack?
I don't know much about guns, though. I want to shoot more guns. A friend of mine just sent me a video. He was shooting a Desert Eagle in Leipzig. I might want to fucking go there. I want to shoot guns. I don't know. I feel like you got to be ready for World War III, man. I remember when I was a kid, I was really into guns because I was a weird HER2 player, right? I was a weird fucking kid, like most of you guys. And I was big into airsoft, and I was really into guns. I will always buy soft air weapons, and then me and my friends will move around. And I loved my M4. My M4 was very good.
Carried out.
I loved my M4.
How did the Kursk region turn into a dead end for the Russian army? How can Ukraine's Kursk offensive affect the position of Russia and the United States? You will find the answers
Shooting
to
range
all
stream?
these
I don't know if I
questions in our
can
video.
stream there. I will
Before
actually
you
do that.
start, Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Swear to God, I can't prove it. I swear to God, I have the golden medal in shooting. I swear to God. I can't prove it because back then I didn't get the document because I was like, I don't care.
Turn on
I
notifications.
wish I had that. I could make such a big dick to Hoi4viewers. Like, look, here's my gold medal in shooting.
And to be informed about our content.
I really regret that one.
All this is free of charge.
Swear to God, Arcadia, swear to God, I have 11 out of 10. So there was a courses. You stand right here with a G36 in the army. And there was one target here and one here. And you had 10 shots and you just had to hit them. My last shot, I shot here and I got the ricochet bullet and got that. And he says 10 out of 10. And I was like, sir, can I get 11 out of 10? I kind of, and he's like, what are you talking about? I mean, come on, I got 11. And he was like, okay, I got 11 out of 10. I swear to fucking God, bro.
Let's get started. First, let's
Fake
dive
story,
into the
I swear, I
twists
can't
and
prove it,
turns of the
unfortunately.
critical operation carried out by the Ukrainian Air Force. Russian forces had
All
converted
the gaming helped a lot. And I remember I was really into army stuff, and shooting is not that easy. You gotta know what you're doing. The biggest thing I remember is, the biggest thing about shooting to get really good points was to pull the trigger a little bit, and you will feel if I go any further, the shot is gonna go. That was important. You want to feel a bit of resistance. I remember that. And I will wait, and then
house in the area into a headquarters
you have to like
avoid
slowly
Ukrainian troops. The house was completely surrounded by trees.
Feel that
and there
shit.
were no other buildings around it. But there was one thing the Russians forgot. Ukrainian reconnaissance drones were constantly flying sorties in the sky and keeping the Russians under blockade. Thanks to the data from the reconnaissance drones, Ukrainian forces realized that Russian soldiers were constantly carrying things into the house. Russian soldiers had turned the house into a headquarters and were trying to stockpile enough ammunition to sustain them in a protracted...
Dude, it seems like in modern warfare, what you learn from this, you gotta spread, bro. Imagine you're a commander of a small village, right? You have a small village like you're Russian or Ukrainian, I don't fucking care. Imagine TommyKay is your leader. I will tell you, I will lead you guys so great. Right? There's a little village. What you can never do in modern warfare is, we're putting everything here, this is our supply, our headquarter, okay, this is what we're doing, okay. Nah, TommyKay's leadership, man. TommyKay's leadership, right? So this is our fuel depot, the fuel is here, this is, the headquarter is here. We have some ammunition in here, right? Some ammunition in here, the non-subs are on the front line. You gotta fucking spread that shit, man. You gotta spread that shit. Yeah.
Conflict.
Now you know, write that down.
The Ukrainian Air Force immediately took action. Ukrainian aircraft took off to strike the Russian headquarters and ammunition depot. The headquarters was destroyed by AESM Hammer aerial bombs dropped from the planes. There were powerful explosions as the ammunition in the headquarters also exploded.
Damn.
The Ukrainian army shared the images of the attack on social networks and announced their success. In the published footage, smoke was seen rising from the house in the snow-covered forest. The video also shows a Ukrainian MiG.
To be honest, World War III might be so scary because you're never safe, buddy, man. You know, it's not anymore. Stukas. No, it's like you're sleeping, right? You're like, is that a drone? Oh shit, I'm fucking dead.
Doka's fighter
so
jet
creepy, dude.
Approaching its target at low altitude to avoid Russian radar detection. The jet blends into the landscape, becoming less visible to radar waves before rising steeply to release its glide bomb. It is known that military personnel in the headquarters were eliminated and thousands of munitions were destroyed. Another successful operation took place just south of Vodyan in Donetsk Oblast. Troops from the Ukrainian National Guard's Black Mountain Brigade were searching
Black Mountain? That sounds cool.
Well,
That's like
TommyKay live
ChatGPT
as
name.
Ukrainian, I may tell you have whole 15s.
Well, TommyKay, as Ukrainian, I may tell you have whole... I have no idea what you're saying, buddy. What? Thank you for the sub.
Russian drone crews. Specifically, they were looking for teams deploying fiber optic drones.
Oh, I have 50 seconds to hide. What? What are you talking about? Dude,
that send and receive signals over millimeter-thick cables instead of radio. This is a control method that helps operators...
Dude, it looks like a video game. Look at that shit. It's like you're watching Terminator. Fucking hell, that's not real. That's not real footage.
Intense Ukrainian radio...
That's not real footage. No way. That's stock footage.
Interference. Ukraine has fewer troops and artillery than Russia, but it has more and better drones. Most of them are made in Ukraine and financed with Ukrainian and European funds. Maintaining this drone advantage, and thus protecting Ukraine's main means of resistance, requires Ukrainians to blunt Russian efforts to boost their
Yeah, that's stock footage. That's like Command and Conquer footage, man. That's not real.
own robotic capabilities. By detecting the reflection of fiber optic cables, operators of the Black Mountain Brigade have shown the way forward for the Ukrainian unmanned
creepy.
systems forces
Shit,
and the Drone Legion. Following the
Black Mountain have a cool insignia. This look like they're digging into Moria, bro. What the fuck?
fibers
If you had your own battalion in World War III, what would you call it? That's such a good name. I don't know, man. I don't know what I would. If I had my own unit in World War III, what would I call it? Because often it's very cringe. It's like the Shadow Snipers, the Dark Alliance, the Butchers. Fucking too boring, too basic, man. Way too basic. Way too basic. The Gravediggers, the Kaisers, the United Retards. Thank you, Fix. The Black Rose. You know, kind of gay, man. Thank you, Fixie. I have no idea what to call it, man. It's gotta be something creepy, right? Gotta be fucking creepy. I don't know. No idea.
reflecting sunlight. They reached the Russian team's base, hidden among snow-covered buildings. Ukrainian drones shot down the hapless Russian operators with explosive first-person view drones. It was a tactical victory with a strategic message. On the day of the operation, United States and Russian negotiators met in Riyadh to discuss closer ties between Russia and the United States and possible ways to end the war in Ukraine. Ukraine has sent a very clear message with this operation. America can choose to bow down to Russia, but Ukraine does not need it.
The matter is that you do so well that other people are naming you. Huh. What did they call Heinz Guderian? Like the Ghost Division or some shit? Because he was so fast, even the High Command didn't know where they were.
But what do we...
You guys are fucked up about this. Name the coolest named divisions in human history. You guys know shit like that.
know about the characteristics
like that.
of the
So
AASM Hammer aerial bombs that were the signature of Ukraine's successful strikes.
Royal Cannon
This
Fodder,
weapon
the
is
Desert
a deadly
Rats.
French capability that Russia fears the most.
Thank you,
Designed
Villeneuve.
and
Devil
manufactured by
Dogs.
Safran.
SS Division Viking. The Millers. The Black Watch. Also, tell me where they're from. Where are these names from? The big red one is American stuff, right?
A French multinational company, the AASM Hammer exemplifies the evolution of modern combat tactics. This weapon is essentially a conventional bomb enhanced with a guidance and glide kit, turning it into a formidable tool in terms of accuracy.
Dude, is my PC or all these videos today ultra fucking pixelated, man? Is it me?
And range. Its hybrid nature makes it prominent in the field of military technology and reflects a broader trend towards multifunctional and adaptable combat equipment. The AASM Hammer comes in two main variants. One is the 250-kilogram MK82 grenade, and the other is the heavier 1,000-kilogram BLU-100.
Dude, that man is like fucking 77 years old.
9 or MK8 grenade.
The Night Witches was a female flying corps in World War II Russia. Damn, the Night Witches. Okay, that's a cool name. It's a bunch of girls driving fucking planes. That's kind of cool.
Grenade. What elevates this weapon above conventional bombs is the range extension kit,
What's this guy
which
talking
can
about
be
anymore?
equipped with a solid fuel engine. This addition significantly increases the bomb's range, allowing attacks
The Night
from
Witches are
safer
actually in Hoi
distances.
4?
The kit also includes options for guidance systems, ranging from satellite only to thermal or laser semi-active guidance, and an airburst detonation feature.
I don't know.
The
He's just
AASM
explaining
Hammer's
equipment now. What is this
versatility
video?
and
Okay, now he's talking about important stuff again. He's just talking about what they're using. Okay, the fuck?
wasted 4,000 soldiers. Of the 3 nominal brigades from North Korea, 1 was effectively destroyed and 2 lost combat effectiveness. 131 tanks,
Good job, guys.
689 armoured combat vehicles, 386 artillery systems, 12 multi-barrel rocket launcher systems, 12 air defence systems, 1 aircraft, 3 helicopters, 900...
Is it me, chat? Or is this very pixelated? Am I... The fuck? When I was in the Mongolian armed forces, the senior year soldiers accidentally killed a friend of mine because he wouldn't follow their orders. No news stories or publications were made because of it. It would have strained the reputation of my regiment, the Honor Guard. I think his parents were compensated with a hush money. We did slave labors everywhere, including polishing rare and forbidden animal horns, being rented to agricultural oligarchs of the countryside in Hazard. kind of feel like you're not lying. Dude, what the hell? I kind of feel like you're not lying, man.
31 operational tactical UAVs.
Yeah, it's a bit of an AI video, huh?
164 pieces of automotive equipment.
Pretty fucking terrible video.
34 pieces.
Sorry, this video is terrible. Fuck, man, that is a terrible video, bro.
She slipped in my fingers like sand. Heard that she had a man. Now I'm just sitting here sad. Oh well, ship sail. She slipped in my fingers like sand.